Life in Japan was becoming more expensive for many people. The cost of everyday items like food and fuel kept going up steadily. This unfortunate trend put a real and tangible strain on family budgets across the entire nation. Beyond these immediate household concerns, the broader economy also needed a significant push to regain its momentum and grow stronger again. Japan has been working diligently for many years to leave behind a prolonged period of deflation. This economic condition, where prices generally fall, might sound appealing initially, but it can seriously hurt business investment and overall economic expansion. So, the government, recognizing these complex pressures, felt a very strong and urgent need to act decisively. They knew that something substantial had to be done quickly to address these mounting issues. Prime Minister Shigeru Ishiba recognized these pressing challenges with great clarity. In early October of 2024, a pivotal moment, he issued an important and clear directive to his administration. He called for the creation of a new comprehensive economic plan specifically designed to ease this growing financial burden on citizens. A key and ambitious goal of this plan was to help Japan finally and successfully exit its long and stubborn deflationary period. He ardently wanted to restore a sense of economic stability and widespread confidence throughout the country. This objective became a top priority for his newly formed administration, reflecting the seriousness of the situation. The public was understandably looking for effective solutions, and he aimed to provide them with concrete measures. The urgency for swift and significant action was also considerably heightened by a natural disaster. Earlier in the year, in January 2024, a powerful and destructive earthquake struck the Noto Peninsula. This tragic event, centered in Ishikawa Prefecture, caused very widespread and severe damage to infrastructure and homes. Many people unfortunately lost their cherished homes and, in numerous cases, their primary livelihoods as well. The difficult and complex recovery process that followed required substantial financial assistance and careful planning. Therefore, the new stimulus package was meticulously designed by policymakers to include this critical aspect. It specifically incorporated substantial aid earmarked for these disaster-stricken areas and the affected people, ensuring they were not forgotten in the national economic strategy. The government fully understood the multifaceted situation and was determined to move forward very fast. Officials saw firsthand how families were struggling with the persistently increasing cost of living. They observed that many businesses across various sectors were hesitant to make new investments or expand operations, and they knew with certainty that some specific regions of the country needed immediate and substantial help for reconstruction efforts. This powerful and concerning combination of economic and social factors created an undeniable and palpable sense of urgency. As a direct result of this pressing need, the new stimulus bill was put on a legislative fast track. The primary aim was to deliver tangible help to people and the wider economy as swiftly as possible. The total size of this comprehensive economic package is truly immense and historic. We are discussing a staggering sum of 21.9 trillion yen, a figure that underscores the government's commitment. To put that enormous amount into a global perspective, it is approximately equivalent to $142 billion in US currency. This represents a massive and strategic injection of money directly into Japan's economy, intended to spur activity. Of this large overall amount, a significant portion, 13.9 trillion yen, is allocated for direct government spending initiatives. The remainder of the funds consists of various loans and carefully considered government investments in key sectors. The government sincerely hopes that this substantial public expenditure will also encourage and stimulate even more private sector spending and investment. A very significant portion of this extensive plan is sharply focused on providing direct cash support. This vital cash support is specifically targeted towards families and households who need it the most. Many households across the country, particularly those with relatively lower incomes, are set to benefit from this measure. They are slated to receive direct cash handouts amounting to 30,000 yen per eligible household. This money is primarily intended to help them cope more effectively with the rising costs of living. It provides a direct and immediate way to offer some much-needed financial relief from inflationary pressures. Think of it as a helpful financial cushion against those persistently higher prices for everyday goods and essential services. The stimulus package also directly addresses the persistently high prices for many essential services. It includes carefully structured financial subsidies that are designed to help reduce household utility bills significantly. This means that your monthly electricity and gas bills might not climb as sharply as they otherwise would have. Gasoline prices, which directly impact transportation costs for almost everyone and many businesses, are also specifically targeted for relief. These practical measures aim to directly lessen the considerable financial pressure being felt by ordinary citizens in their daily lives. By making these daily essentials more affordable for people to purchase regularly, the government hopes to effectively free up household budgets. This, in turn, could allow for other necessary spending or even some savings. Beyond providing this crucial immediate relief, there is also a strong and clear focus on the future. A considerable amount of the allocated funds is dedicated to long-term disaster recovery and rebuilding efforts. This is especially true for the Noto Peninsula, which was severely impacted by the earthquake earlier in the year. This dedicated money will go towards rebuilding vital public infrastructure and supporting the affected local communities. Furthermore, there is a significantly boosted investment planned in promising new technologies that can drive future growth. Key innovative sectors, such as artificial intelligence and advanced semiconductors, are set to receive increased funding. This strategic investment is about creating new, high-quality jobs for the coming years and decades. The approval process for this very large and impactful stimulus package was notably quick and efficient. The cabinet, under the leadership of Prime Minister Shigeru Ishiba, officially greenlit the extensive plan. This crucial decision happened in November 2024, marking a significant turning point for economic policy. It followed his initial directive for such a plan just 1 month earlier, in October of the same year. Such remarkable speed in governmental processes often indicates a strong, unified consensus among policymakers. There was a clear agreement on the pressing need for immediate and decisive action to address economic challenges. The government clearly wanted to demonstrate its responsiveness and capability in managing these complex issues effectively. Political considerations also undoubtedly played a significant part in this swift and decisive action. The comprehensive stimulus package was prepared and subsequently announced just ahead of important lower house elections. These national elections were scheduled to take place around that same time period, adding a political dimension. Following a snap election that occurred in late 2024, the overall political landscape in Japan experienced a noticeable shift. The ruling coalition, composed of the Liberal Democratic Party and its partner Komeito, unfortunately lost some ground. They no longer held their previous outright majority in the crucially important lower house of the Diet. This new parliamentary arithmetic means they now require support from various opposition parties to pass new laws. Prime Minister Ishiba's administration began its term with a very clear and articulated focus. The main overarching goal was to prioritize and actively stimulate robust and sustainable economic growth for Japan. He signaled a potential and significant shift away from the many years of strict fiscal austerity policies. His initial approval ratings from the public were quite positive, suggesting a degree of national optimism. This comprehensive and far-reaching stimulus package was one of his administration's first major policy moves. It directly aligned with his campaign promise to actively support citizens economically during challenging times. The prevailing hope was that this bold and substantial plan would help to solidify public trust in the government's direction. The government has understandably high hopes for what this massive injection of public funds will ultimately achieve. Firstly, and most immediately, they are aiming to provide direct and welcome relief to many households. This is particularly for those that are struggling with the effects of persistent and rising inflation. Secondly, they want to effectively stimulate broader economic activity across all sectors of the Japanese economy. And critically, the plan aims to help Japan to finally and decisively exit its long battle with deflation. Thirdly, supporting the disaster-hit regions, like the Noto Peninsula, remains a key humanitarian and economic priority. Finally, investing strategically in cutting-edge technology is seen as absolutely vital for ensuring long-term national prosperity and global competitiveness. So, what does all of this extensive economic planning mean for your everyday life in Japan? For many individuals and families across the country, the direct cash handouts are certainly welcome news. The introduced subsidies could provide some much-needed breathing room and flexibility in tight monthly budgets. Lower utility bills and tangible assistance with persistently high gasoline prices can genuinely help ease financial burdens. These practical measures can make a real and noticeable difference to overall financial well-being and peace of mind. Families residing in disaster-affected areas will begin to see more resources allocated for rebuilding their lives and communities. The promise of new skilled tech jobs also offers considerable hope for future employment opportunities. However, it is also very important to acknowledge that large and ambitious plans like this often bring along certain worries. Some respected economic experts have publicly raised questions about the long-term effectiveness of some specific measures. For instance, are the subsidies for utility bills and gasoline truly sustainable in the long run? They are undoubtedly costly for the government and could potentially slow down national efforts towards cleaner energy sources. There are always legitimate concerns about how such vast sums of public money will be spent and managed. Will these funds genuinely stimulate lasting, sustainable economic growth for Japan, or will the effects be temporary? The significant increase in the national debt is also a serious and ongoing discussion point for the future. The ultimate success of this major and transformative stimulus package will depend on a wide variety of factors. How quickly and how efficiently will the allocated money be distributed to the intended recipients and projects? Will Japanese businesses, both large and small, respond positively by increasing their investments and hiring more staff? Will the overall global economic situation provide a supportive and stable environment for Japan's efforts? These are all very important and complex questions that remain to be answered in the coming months and years. People should look out for official government updates on how the plan is being implemented across different regions. It is also wise for everyone to monitor key economic indicators closely for signs of progress. Ultimately, this 21.9 trillion yen stimulus represents a major and concerted government effort to improve conditions. It is a bold and strategic attempt to reshape Japan's economic future path for the better. It is certainly a significant move with considerable potential upsides and benefits for everyone in the nation. But it also, by its very nature and scale, comes with certain inherent risks that must be carefully managed. For individuals, it is a time to understand these wide-ranging policy impacts on a personal level. How might these significant economic changes affect you, your family, and your community directly? It is also a moment to observe closely how the nation as a whole navigates these challenging yet hopeful economic changes.